Hello, welcome back. And this is a kind of a tutorial video on a certain kind of piston door where you've got a wall that's only one layer thick, because that's what I've been building here. And this is using command blocks. Now, to talk you through this, the reason for doing this is that say we want a button on a wall, and say for stylistic reasons we want an oak button rather than a jungle button, just because it makes life easier. There we go. Say, for example, we've got a couple of sticky pistons down there, and the standard design is we'd shove some fence or some blocks or something on top of those sticky pistons. We want to push that button and have them go down. Now, when a wall's one thick, the problem is this block here is being activated by the button. And you can see when I push the button, the torch goes out. All great, fine. Let's do something with, let's take the redstone signal off to somewhere to play with under the wall. All good. So if we now look when I push the button, redstone signal's deactivated. Fine, but hang on, you can see it, and the only way to hide it is to kind of do this sort of stuff. And suddenly you've got a great chunk sticking out of your wall. Now, if you don't mind that, that's fine. I know a lot of people like to build really thick walls. My build has lovely, thin, elegant curtain walls. The question is, how do you get around this? How do you deal with this? I mean, what you do is you take this signal here down to the pistons, and you attach it to them. Blah 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 blah. That's what. So you do something like that, and you take the redstone sort of down, you know, to the pistons. I don't know where they are. Where are they? Here? Oh, there you go. They're up here. They're not working for some reason, because I don't know, because the signal is too weak. So what I've found actually is that pistons do appreciate a repeater. Oh, they were working. They were working all the time. But for the sake of it, we get a nice strong signal by adding a repeater. There we go. So that's a normal door. Push that and it goes down. Whoopie-doo. Right. Don't worry about that. You'll have seen that everywhere, and if you haven't, and if you can't work that out, then there isn't a lot of hope for you, either in Minecraft or in life. So what we're going to do is work out how to build one of these things when it's nighttime, when the wall's only one thick. I'm going to push that button and for them to come down. And what I've worked out is you can do it with command block. So what we want, first of all, is much less space, but I'll show you what you need to put into the command block code. Let's just tidy up a bit before we start on this. There we go. Okay, oops. Here we are. So there's our piston still set up with our door on them. We still want these repeaters in front of them. They are a good way of feeding a good strong signal into the blocks. Might not be necessary. We can find out, I suppose. Have a look. So what we will do after those, so assuming now we have a road here, so let's just use cobblestone for the road layer. I'll show you how this all fits neatly underneath the road. So this is the road level. Okay, so we've got our road going in towards our door like that. Happy? Good. We need to activate some redstone on them eventually, so let's pop down some redstone that we can actually activate. There we go. We need a block there, because what we need behind the redstone is a torch, because this signal is going to need inverting. So we want when the button's pressed for it to work. There we go. So there's the by default they're up. And now we know that if we activate that block, the torch will turn off, this will turn off, and the piston will come down. Now, a command block will issue a redstone signal, but the redstone signal won't power a redstone circuit without the inclusion of a comparator. So it's the comparator is what will generate the signal from the command block and enable it to feed to something else. You can feed anything off the comparator. You could feed more redstone wiring off it, or one of these things off it, or you can't feed a torch off it. But once that's picked up a signal, it will then affect what it goes on to. So the last bit of this is the command block. And like the structure blocks, you can't give yourself a command block out of the menu. You can only give it direct as a command, like that. So you /give player name, well, that's more complicated, command block, there it is. And this then is the length of the chain that's going to be needed for this sort of thing. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And obviously you could run the redstone wiring from a long way away. That command block is going to issue a redstone signal when a certain criteria is met, which is going to make the comparator work, which is going to feed into that block, which is going to turn the torch off, which is going to disconnect this redstone signal, which is going to turn those off, which is going to make the pistons go down. That's how this works. And because my memory is terrible, I'm going to go and borrow the command that we need for the command block from what I've already programmed over here. So bear with. There we go. So I've just copied the command out. Let's go back to where we're building down here. What we're going to do is put a command into the command block to detect if that button, and not any other button, that exact button in that block is being powered. And you can do that. Even though it's not powering anything and no redstone's coming off it, it will know if it's powered. So what we need to know are the coordinates of that block. So how do we do that? Easiest way is to stand on the fence and walk into the block, and then push F3. So we are 5, 4, 8, 66, 259. 5, 4, 8, 66, 259. That was just me copying it down. Oops, and turn that off again. Over here, if you right click the command block and paste this in. So let's go back to the start of it. So we're going to do an execute command. You don't need the slash, but I blind. And the syntax is fairly easy. So you execute if this block, which is the block we've just got the coordinates of, there, and you've got to specify which kind of button you're using. So it's if this block contains a certain kind of thing. That's what we're testing for. But because a button can be powered or not, we can test if that block contains a powered button. And that's what this does. So we check whether it's a Minecraft oak button, powered is true. Now we need a bit more than that. These command block needs to be permanently running. So we don't want to run on an impulse or a chain. We want it to just go on and on and on and on. And we want it to always be active. And when we do that, and it's unconditional, when we do that, it will turn blue. Hopefully, there we go. So what that's doing is detecting when this block, now when you get the coordinates of this block, don't take the coordinates of the block that it's on. It's not finding out, it's not detecting whether or not this stone block is being activated. It wants to know if this button is being activated, and this button is in this block. It's in the one to the left above the fence. That's why, standing on top of the fence and just hoofing along to the edge, enables you to be in the same block as that button and get its exact coordinates. Then, that all being done, you can cover over, see, and we're at road level, and everything works. And we can do whatever we like around here. We can have nothing or everything or a thin wall, and we've got a lovely slick button. Now, obviously, you could take your signal a lot further. Let's just show you a bit if you want to go around bends. Let me just copy that command, because I'm going to destroy that now. So say we wanted to, I don't know, take the signal along anywhere you like. You take the signal from miles and miles and miles and miles away. It really doesn't matter. Let's pop a command block down here, give it the same command, because it's still detecting for the same block. That can be repeat, it can be always active. There we are. And just a few illustrations. So let's give it a normal redstone chain. Now this is far too long to do anything. This might be your kind of initial instinct. Let's do it to the back of the there. So the question, no, does this work? Of course this isn't going to work. Nah. Right. Why doesn't that work? Well, it's because, so we tried various things. It's because there's not enough strength in it. So put a few repeaters in to make the signal nice and strong. Surely that will do it. Try that. No, that doesn't do it either. Well, it's because there's no signal going properly into this torch here. So we put a repeater there. No, that doesn't work. Oh, what's going on? And look, when we look back here, we saw there was no signal actually coming out. So if you put a repeater right beside the command block, it still doesn't work. That's strange. But if you put a comparator by the command block, and give it a go, it works. And that is in the official description of this, is that it provides a comparator output signal. You don't need the repeater there. Oh, it was too weak. You saw it light up faintly over there. Look in the distance again. See, it's very, very faint. Not enough. So barely any signal comes out of the comparator. Barely any. Barely any. So in order to make the signal usable out of the comparator, you put the repeater in immediately afterwards, which gives you a nice boosted signal, which then works. And as to whether or not we need a repeater into the torch block, of course we don't. So the repeaters are only used in this circuit to boost a signal, and the only place one is really needed is here. You can't put a repeater straight after the command block. The command block will only talk to a comparator, but it will talk to it so weakly that the output needs its repeater. This is just as a reminder because I've got a long circuit. I hope that's clear. I hope that's clear what we're doing here. Let's go back again to the shortest version of this circuit, which is going to be the repeater. The repeater's there not because the torch block needs it, but because that comparator needs it, because the output from that block is so weak. And then we put our command into there, changes to repeat and always active, and it's done. And it works. So I'll strip out what isn't needed just here. We'll leave you can cover that over. Zoom out, zoom in. A lot of these tutorial videos are far too quick on how they show you stuff. I hope that's been clear enough. You can copy this. So it's a block, comparator, repeater, block with a torch on it, and then a gap. Redstone, redstone, repeater, repeater into the pistons. This button here, if you step on top of the fence or whatever it is, you want the coordinates where the button is, not of the block it's on, so it's one to the side of the block it's on. And you plug that into here using execute if the block that the button is in contains that button with powered equals true. So if you wanted a spruce button or an acacia button or a lever or any other redstone enabled doodah, you specify that there. The button's the easy one. And you check if that block contains a powered one of them. That's it. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that was vaguely useful, rather different from what I normally do. I'm normally building this humongous thing up. If it was useful, good. Leave me some comments. Do join in the realm builds or join in and come and watch some of the mod pack development stuff that's also going on. Look at this amazing cathedral. Otherwise, have a good day, and I'll catch you when I catch you. Bye bye.